Good morning, adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a couple days since I picked up my camera and filmed, and man, I am clearly back at base camp now, and I am exhausted. Whenever we were in Arkansas, we were going to this campsite that my dad has never been to before, and I was so excited. I was on cloud nine. I was on top of the world. I was on the mountain. I was so happy. And then life decided to do what it does. It's the crazy thing about van life. When you're driving around in your vehicle, you never know what's going to happen. And if something does happen, you will be displaced from where you stay. Now, there's a couple options that you can take when that happens. You can go to a hotel. But in my dad's case, they didn't know how long it was going to be before they could even look at the van. And so he decided, instead of doing that he wanted to just go back home and trust the process. And it was excruciating to see that happen, because I know exactly what that feels like. For anyone who is new to my channel and might not know this, I was in an accident whenever I was in the Phoenix area last year. And whenever that happened, I didn't know what to do. Because on one hand, I was like, okay, so I'm in this accident. I want to get my van immediately repaired. But on the other hand, I didn't know if it would be able to be immediately repaired. So I talked to a whole bunch of people and they said, bring it home, because just in case something weird happens, at least I'm close to where I live, instead of being out figuring out how to get to home or having to leave it in another state. And in doing so, it brought me a little bit of comfort. So I know Dad does not have that comfort right now. His van is in another state. And with that, it's very stressful. So I thought, well, I'm going to do everything I can to make it a little bit better, because I've been there. So we loaded up everything into my van. And if you have not seen that video, please go check it out. Those are real emotions, the real situation, and you can see exactly what happened. Now, what's going on with the van? We don't know. The fact of the matter is, we may not know for a while. And so I've been just trying to rest, because we drove 8 hours. And anytime I drive that many hours, I'm pretty tired, but that was after a full day of activity. So I was really tired. And at this point, I don't know what's going to happen still. So he's going to call them and see if they've had any kind of thoughts, if they've had a chance to look at it, and he's going to give them a little bit of time to figure it out. And best case scenario, it's something that's not terrible and they can fix it. Worst case scenario is it's something they can't fix, and then he has to go to phase 2, which is figuring out what to do next. There's also another option though. There's the option that unfortunately I faced with my van. Parts. If they can't find parts, it could be a while. So what exactly does that mean for me in my travels? Well, I'm not sure yet either. The thing about it is, if it's going to be fixed sometime soon, I'm going to need to take my dad back up there to get his van, which means we're going back to Arkansas. But I don't know when that will be. So the waiting game commences, and as it does, I have to figure out what I want to do to kind of be here for my dad. I think that that's the most important thing right now. You know, a lot of times whenever we're on the road, we're doing all these really cool things, and really frequently we don't talk about these kinds of things because we don't encounter them. But whenever you do, oh wow. Now, I'm very fortunate that both Dad and I have a base camp. So when something like this arises, he can come home and have a comfortable place to be. And that does take away some of the anxiety and stress. However, I know a lot of you guys out there do not have base camps. And so when this happens, I definitely understand the full impact of what that means. It can mean that you are literally out of a home. And it really puts it into perspective. And that's why I wanted to share this experience, so that people could see this is the reality of van life also. You have to be able to adapt and adjust and pivot and all of those things. But in the cases whenever you don't have options, this is reality. And that can be the difference between somebody thriving and just surviving. Right now, my van looks like this. Obviously not ideal. I still have a lot of Dad's stuff in here. I have a lot of my stuff in here. And it's just going to look a little chaotic until I figure out exactly what we need to do. I'm probably going to end up taking Dad's stuff out and putting it in storage for him. And even if I do take him back up there, then he'll just take the bare minimum and then he'll just get home and then restock everything. Again, best case scenario. But I don't know when that's gonna be. So for now, I think I'm just gonna let it rock in the van for at least a few more days just to make sure that it's not like a quick fix turnaround. And if it's not, then I'll start removing things from the van. And then I'll start organizing my things in the van. And then I'll start troubleshooting some things in the van. Because there's a couple things that I do want to kind of go over myself. It's not anything big, it's just some little things. But I have some projects, so I'll be sharing those, of course, with you guys. And in the meantime, I am very fortunate that I don't post in real time. So when you're seeing this, things may be better. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. They also might not be better, in which case that's the worst case scenario because I'm at a pretty hefty delay right now, guys. But that might not always be the case. So what I think I'm also going to do while I'm here in Texas is take this time to do some officing, get myself nice and ahead on my editing. I am going to do a few things when it comes to, again, maintenance on my van. I need to get my oil changed. I need to do all of those things. And then I think I'm gonna do some more localized adventures just until we get some kind of information. And so I'll be showing you some areas that I can drive to within a day. So Oklahoma, Texas, probably. And I'm really excited about those actually because those are going to be some fun things that I would like to share with you all. Very frequently, I do not adventure as much in my backyard because I'm always going across the country because I've been to so many places here growing up that I want to go out and see the other things. But I think this is the time for me to stick a little bit closer to base camp just to make sure that if he does get that call, I can be there, at least for a little bit. So on a positive note, I'm gonna give Dimples a bath. That'll be cool because Dimples definitely needs a bath, especially after driving home and all that grossness. I also have a few things that are gonna be coming in the mail that I can show you guys that I think you'll be interested in. So I'm gonna unbox those and talk about those a little bit. And that way you can get some perspective on some other things that are out there. Of course, anytime that I do those kinds of videos, it's not to encourage you guys to buy. Don't do that. But I want to show you what's available more so than anything because I know starting van life or starting car camping is somewhat overwhelming. And so any information that you can find out there that is helpful, I like to be a part of. I like to try to give as much as I can back to the community in way of honesty. And so a lot of times I'll get a product and I'll tote it around and I'll beat it up and I'll do all sorts of crazy things and then I'll tell you guys about it. But I always like to tell you what it is first so you can see what it is and then kind of follow along the way to kind of get some ideas. So I'm going to be doing that. Life is weird sometimes, guys. Life is really, really weird. You know, one of the things that van life has taught me is to be patient. It has taught me to have the ability to kind of pivot whenever things go awry. And I definitely did not think that this is where we would end up. I was planning on being on the road for quite a while. And life has an equalizer sometimes. Now that doesn't mean I'm not going to get back on the road. I'm definitely going to be getting back on the road. I just want to kind of play this by ear and figure out when exactly that would be a manageable and safe time for me to do that. And also I'm probably going to switch up my plans just a little bit because that's going to start getting into some pretty warm times here. And some of the places I wanted to be, I definitely don't want to be during the times that I would be able to go back. So I'll just push those for a little bit later and I'll go to some different destinations and that is perfectly fine. I am flexible, I am capable of doing those things, and you know, I don't have anything tying me to one set of plans, and that is what I love about the lifestyle that I've built for myself. However, with that said, now I have to go back to the drawing board and think just a little bit. And in the meantime, apparently the kitties are happy that I am here. Hi, Curly. Hi, buddy. Showing off your belly. Yeah. So I'll probably also add some videos to my tiny channel. If you haven't seen that, it's Tiny Texas Living. Because clearly the cats are the main character there. But with that said, I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update as to what's going on. Now, in real time, this won't make any sense because you'll be like, okay, and then my very next video will be either me doing an unboxing or getting on an adventure of some kind. And it won't look anything like I'm bothered. It just won't. But in all reality, I'm going to take off like a week, and I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to get my life together and figure out what I need to do. And I'm hoping that within that week we have some kind of good news. If not, I'll keep you guys posted as always. But I've been giving you updates as to what's going on with my van, my dad's van, things like that. And I wanted to continue to do that so that you all can be in the loop. And I just hate that this one's a negative one because, oh, Dad's worked so hard, guys. He's put together a wonderful, incredible space that he and my mom were going to be taking out this summer, and I'm not sure how that's going to look now for them, if they're going to be able to, so I guess we'll see. But for now, guys, remember, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Thanks for sticking around for this update, and we'll get back into some van stuff or some travel stuff on the next one. But I'm going to take this week. This is my week. Again, you won't notice that there's a week here at all because I'm that far ahead. You'll just see me going somewhere tomorrow and be like, okay. But until then, bye.